Not all mystical superheroes are as well known as Doctor Strange and Dr. Fate, but that doesn't mean they don't deserve your love and your respect. Welcome back, Nerd Squad. It's me, Amanda. Who is your favorite magic-based hero or villain? And do you think they'll make our cut? Number 10. Man-Bat. Despite once being a villain, in addition to a man who is primarily known for his scientific pursuits and brilliance, Man-Bat, during his time with the Justice League Dark Branch, actually got some exposure to magic and was able to open up his sensitivity to it. At one point, he shows that he has learned enough to do what even other more experienced magic users struggled to do: free the new Dr. Fate, Khalid Nazur, grandnephew of Kent Nelson, from a vase that the current Dr. Fate, Naboo, had trapped him in while possessing the body of his great Uncle Nelson. And friends, before we move on to our next spot, if you are loving what we do here at Top 10 Nerd, please go check out our newest channel, Most Amazing Top 10 Anime. Who knows, maybe one day you'll see me over there for a video. Number 9. Traci 13. Traci 13 formerly went by the alias of Girl 13 in the New Earth continuity. She is the only daughter of professional skeptic of mysticism Dr. Terrence 13 and his wife, sorceress Mei Huai Lan 13. Traci uses a unique brand of magic known as urban magic, which allows her to tap into the knowledge, energy, and spirit of cities, fueling her own power with it. She gets much of her knowledge and talent in magic from her mother, who died tragically in a magic-related incident, which broke her father's heart. Traci is also the founder of the Sisterhood of the Sleight of Hand, a group of witches who work to aid mere mortal heroes. Traci also possesses knowledge of the occult, which comes from likely both her mother and her father, as well as her own pursuits of knowledge. Number 8. Witchfire. Probably one of the most underrated character in terms of just how cool she is Witchfire. Honestly, I gotta do a cosplay of this magical hero at some point. Many people don't even seem to know about her, at least not my near and dear friends who read comics, which makes sense considering that she only has had a small amount of appearances in comparison to other mystics like John Constantine and Zatanna. Rebecca Carstairs appeared back in the days of the New Earth continuity, and while known for her skills as a witch, she was established as a famous singer, actress, and fashion model as well. As her name implies, she is a witch, so she has magical abilities, but is also well versed in pyrokinesis in addition. When she appeared in the Prime Earth continuity in 2018's Justice League Dark, she was actually sporting a pretty fitting outfit to match her fire skills, with shoulder pads that were made of literal fire, which traditionally tends to be her look. Sadly, her appearance there also resulted in her death, but she was up against some pretty powerful beings at that time, namely the Queen Mother of Witches, Hecate, or Hecate, or Hecate, depending on how you like to say that. Number 7. Detective Chimp. While often thought of as a supremely intelligent hero with his abilities more about his brain and skills of deduction, similar in some ways to Bruce Wayne, aka Batman's main skill set, Bobo T. Chimpanzee is actually mystical in nature when it comes to his own origins. He was granted knowledge thanks to the magical place known as the Fountain of Youth. There, he gained the ability to speak to all beings, an enhanced genius-level intellect, and, of course, eternal youth. Bobo at one point also inherited the Sword of Night, gifted to him by Nightmaster, the former protector of the magical fantasy dimension known as Mira. And he has shown ability before to use his intellect to better understand mystical texts than even experienced and prominent magic users like Zatanna. Number 6. Talisman. Elizabeth Tu Youngman is Talisman, the daughter of another powerful magic user, Shaman. Like her father before her, Liz hails from the Sarsi tribe and would also end up becoming a team member of Alpha Flight, even though she and her father had a strained relationship growing up due to the death of her mother, which she blamed her father for. Eventually, they would make up, and Talisman would even follow in her father's mystical footsteps. Her codename, Talisman, comes from the powerful magic item that she wields, the Talisman or Coronet of Power, which grants Elizabeth her abilities. However, even without it, she is able to manipulate mystical energy, sensing it, redirecting it, and communing with spirits. Number 5. Black Panther. Black Panther also happens to be a mystical superhero, although as a world leader, we usually think of him for his democratic as well as his tactical abilities, and of course his physical prowess as a fighter. His powers are actually steeped in mysticism though. The powers granted to T'Challa by the heart-shaped herb are believed to be somewhat divine, and in addition to those abilities, he was also granted more power from the goddess Bast during his reign as King of the Dead. Through his powers granted to him by Bast, he can connect with all the previous Black Panthers to have come before him, drawing on their wisdom, their knowledge, and their strength. In addition, he was granted power over the dead, becoming a necromancer. Number 4. Black Alice. Black Alice is one that I don't even think we have ever mentioned on this channel. At least, I don't think I've ever mentioned her. As far as my videos are going, I don't think I've ever brought her up. She is one of the members of the Sisterhood of the Sleight Hand. Her powers are pretty crazy. She is mystical based, and rather than being a straight-edge superhero, she's more of an anti-hero. She has a goth-inspired look, which I am super here for. Her magical abilities allow her to adopt the powers of any magical being for a short time, literally taking their powers, so leaving whoever she is lending from powerless until such a time as she is either done using said powers or time runs out on her own abilities. Black Alice's real name is Lori Zeklin, and she made her first appearance in the New Earth continuity back in Birds of Prey issue number 76 in 2004. Number 3. Manitou Dawn. Manitou Dawn is a character from DC Comics who definitely deserves more love than she gets. She has been associated with the Justice League Elite in the past and is a proud member of the Apache tribe. Her and her husband are both powerful mystics, and at one point Manitou Dawn also garnered attention from Hecate, becoming one of her witch-marked. Manitou Dawn was one of the few people to survive Hecate's attack on the universe. Her magical ability allows her to change size, teleport, manipulate time, telekinesis, and even grants her resurrection powers. While also associated with the Apache tribe, Manitou Dawn is actually from Atlantis, being born there before the famed city sunk into the ocean. She was one of the first members of the Apache tribe, migrating to America eons ago and actually playing a role in its beginnings. At least, you know, in the comics. Not necessarily in real life, because she's not a real person, as far as I know. Number 2. Agatha Harkness. Agatha Harkness is one of the most powerful magic users out there, especially when it comes to her knowledge and experience. While posed as a villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where she was revealed to be the main antagonist of the Disney Plus streaming series WandaVision, in the comics, Agatha is much more neutral and has often tried to help protect the world rather than cause harm to it. Sure, she doesn't always make the best call in order to do so, but at least, you know, she's trying to help, not hurt for the most part. Agatha's list of magical powers and abilities is long and includes transmutation, scrying, teleportation, magic negation and reflection, telekinesis, fusion, telepathy, elemental control, and the manipulation of dimensions, among many other abilities. Number 1. Storm. Because Storm is a mutant, many people dismiss her as not being magical in nature, and while her powers are of course mutant in origin, there is actually a lot of mystical heritage, potential, and actual supernatural and spiritual mysticism attached to Aurora Monroe. For one, Storm comes from a long line of powerful magical ancestors, and in fact her striking hair and eye color combination come up frequently in her lineage, also usually coming with magical potential and ability as well. She is related to both the Sorcerer Supreme of the Hyborian Age, Priestess Aisha, and Ashake, who worshipped the mother of Agamotto, Egyptian goddess Maat, sometimes known as Oshtur, and who also once used her magical abilities to help a time-displaced Mirage and magic. Herself, Storm has been both worshipped as and later granted a godhood herself, becoming a goddess whose power is fueled by people's belief in her. And it was also said at one point that she was one of the few with a powerful enough spirit to act as the host or potential host or avatar for the consciousness of eternity. Seriously though, I do not do enough magic-based superhero cosplay. I really need to get on that. That is all for today, my fellow nerds, but thank you so much for joining me, and as always, you stay nerdy. Bye!